got a super chat from Eddie. Eddie, thank you for the super chat, helping support the show. No way, Grinch. Again, I don't think it's Grinch. We've seen this all season, guys. I say this: we had a really bad defense this year. You guys forget how atrocious the defense was last year. They were so much worse. Like, they are much better this year. And the problem is people. The problem is personnel. It's the Jimmies and the Joes, and we've got to get more great defensive folks in, and they're coming. It's sort of like that. The old World War I song, "Over There, Send the Word that the Yanks are coming." That's really, we've got the recruits are coming, the transfers are coming. They're stocking up the defense. But unfortunately, they couldn't get there today.
Yeah, I don't like. Sorry, Rick. Go ahead.
I'm going to say just credit Tulane. They're 12-2. They were 2-10 last year, and they showed an example of. And not a lot of people know about Tulane, but Willie Fritz, what an amazing coach. And they do, in terms of analytics, like Chris was telling us that.
The LBC freezer.
I think it's there. I think he's talking about when Willie Fritz basically said, "Hey, we were thinking about doing the onside kick," and he said the book said. When he said the book said, he's talking about the analytics. He's talking about what the numbers tell him. And he said, "Okay, no, kick it deep," and he kicked it deep. And when they kicked it deep, great things happened. I'll tell you that. That's all I'm gonna say.
And we joked, you guys. We have a group text going during the game, and so we joked, just let Tulane score in the first play because we're not going to stop them. They won't be able to get the ball back.
But analytics don't tell you that your sure-handed returner is going to decide to just kind of toss the ball out the 1
yard line. And Erica, friend of the show, who we love, Erica, devout Hawkeye fan. Erica, for you, we are hoping for a coaching change. Sorry about the L. Was rooting for you guys. Fight on, Erica, and go
Erica,
Hawks.
Though, great win to you guys and the Hawks. Well done, Hawks. So apparently, the Big Ten can win the lesser bowls. And they actually, they're the early shutout of the year, but it looks like in the big bowls that count, right? When we're talking about the New York Six Bowls, it looks like the Big Ten's 0-3.
Probably about to be 0-4.
Yeah,
I don't think has any conference ever lost 4 New Year's Six Bowls. I don't think so. This is historic for the Big Ten. Hayden says, fairly certain. I don't know. They might have, but USC blew this game. I mean, like that. I wouldn't hinge it on anything. USC blew the game.
Yeah, I mean, listen. The calls. There were some shaky calls in there.
There were some shaky calls,
but I'm not even going to talk about any calls whatsoever. I mean, the targeting, the non-targeting, that could have gone either way, and it went USC's way. There was a weird spot actually on a third down. There was a really strange call on a pass interference. There was some weird stuff, but this is not about any of that. This is really a team of destiny, because this was like a freaking Disney movie at the end of this thing. The only way this could have happened, the only way this could have played out, it played out perfectly. And I'm telling you, this is what football is. Football is 60 minutes.
Tim, Mark missed our introduction. Eddie will come back to you in just a sec. What other New York Six did the Big Ten lose? They just lost the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
The USC joined the Big Ten, Mark. It's official. A complete inexplicable collapse in a New Year's Six bowl. That's the Big Ten, and USC has now joined the Big Ten. It's exciting.
Earlier in the week, people were getting a good laugh at the SEC's expense, talking about Texas and Oklahoma and adding those losses to the SEC. Well, I guess you got to add USC's loss to the Big Ten.
I know the Pac-12 is gonna be like, they're not our problem anymore.
But this was literally exactly how it had to play out in order for they were up 15. It just
like Ohio State, Michigan, and USC, 3 teams that absolutely blew their New Year's Six bowl games, all in like a 36-hour span or whatever.
Hey guys,
ugly. And let's get back to Eddie. Eddie says we knew the defense was going to give up. We did know the defense was going to give up that game-winning touchdown.
And Tony literally said, just let him score in the first play. So at least then we got ourselves a chance.
I did. And then I missed Alex was questioning, is this worse than the Freedom Bowl? I don't think so. The Freedom Bowl was an all-time historic low point, I think.
No, plus this you're not giving Tulane enough credit. I mean, this is a good team. It is a good team, and
they really are.
But I will be more than happy never to play another game inside Jerry World.
You guys, Hayden, an Ohio State or an Iowa fan, just reminded us our fellow cohort in the Big Ten blew their bowl game as well.
Yeah, but that wasn't a New York Six. But yes, you are.
No,
correct.
That was not a New Year's Six. But they did epically blow that one in historic fashion, just like us and Ohio State and Michigan. It's Big Ten.
Uncle Rico, a loss is a loss. Period. The end.
Especially when it's embarrassing, like all of the Big Ten ones today.
Guys.
Oh, you guys, I just got promoted to defensive coordinator.
Rick's trying to get in. Hold on, go, Rick.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rick.
Can we talk about special teams? And one of the big criticisms about USC is not having a special teams coach.
Nailed it.
Reared its ugly head at the most opportune time. What was Mario Williams doing on that kickoff? And he catches the ball at the 1 yard line. What the heck are you doing? And I said to my friends that were over here for the viewing party, oh, here comes the safety, and then we're going to have to kick the ball off. It's exactly what happened. You could see the writing on the wall. And so Lincoln Riley's going to have to address not having a special teams coach. That's on you. And but frankly, with respect to the roster, yes, we all knew that there was a lot of areas where defensively we were short. You can only do so much in one season in the transfer portal. My God, 2 years ago when Lincoln Riley, 2 weeks after he shows up, we only had 7 guys that we signed in our class, and everything had to be through the transfer portal. So a lot of credit to him. I know a lot of people are going to love to bash him. That's fine. But, what did Jimbo Fisher do, who's been at Texas A&M for 5+ years, had the #1 recruiting class? He can't even get to a bowl game. My God, TCU is in the national championship game. How does that feel, Texas A&M? You're 5-7. How about Texas with Steve Sarkisian? 7-win Sark. You lose to Washington, okay, and then you're caught holding back your players, and you basically tell a volunteer person that lets you on the field, everybody's seen it, hey, MFer, let go of my man boom, MFer. But Texas blew up. What about Mario Cristobal, 5-7? So it takes time to build your roster. Offensively, very elite. Defensively, special teams, we have to shore up those issues. I'm no fool. Everybody saw it on display. And so that was basically a 4-hour come and help our defense. We've got a Heisman Trophy winner. We got guys who can score all from over the field, but we can't stop anybody. The refs actually helped, creating screens to let our guys catch up and make tackles a couple times. It was just a clown show for USC defensively. It was just sad to watch.
If I would have told you guys,
real quick, Tim, friend of the show, Gixer Squid, points out Tulane played great, and he'll say it again: special teams and kicking. Defense played as expected, but I don't understand trying. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Especially, here's the thing: especially when the ball is kicked into the corner of the end zone, you just let that ball go. That thing's going to land in the end zone. It didn't look like he's going to run that thing out, So, especially given the circumstances, you just want to get to that 25-yard line, get a couple of first downs, and get out of Dodge. That's really what you wanted to do. And going to what Gixer Squid said, USC in the transfer portal picked up the all Pac-12 punter. This guy is legit. So we have fixed that problem. I really think we need to get to the portal for a kicker. And if not, I agree. At the very least, if he's stubborn, he does not pull on a special teams coach. I really hope they spend a little more time on special teams, because I think you are all nailing it. There's 3 phases of football. There's offense, defense, and there's also special teams. And if your special teams are not so special, matter of fact, if they're tragic, because let's face it, I don't want to put one play on one player, but that was a big play in a big moment, and it didn't have to happen.
And friend of the show, Erica pointed out, so you guys may not have seen it on Twitter. If you did, it's already gotten like a bunch of likes and everything. She pointed out very wisely about the idea of a dream team, USC's offense and Iowa's defense.
So again, speaking to that,
or the nightmare team, USC's defense and Iowa's offense.
If I were to tell you guys we were going to put up 648 yards, I'll say it again, 648 yards. If I told you we were going to rush for 178 yards on the ground, let me repeat that again. 178 yards on the ground, 470 through the air, 5 touchdowns by Caleb, Cotton Bowl record, Caleb healthy the whole game. Are you telling me USC is going to lose? That's not very likely. And unfortunately, we saw Keystone Cop tackling. And for all the people saying, fire Grinch, I am not a Grinch guy. I'm not going to die on that hill. There's a lot of questions there, especially, and I'll say this, especially late in the game on the second to last touchdown. How do you, the safeties, how can you let that guy get on? You're playing man to man. That was the problem. Get past you. You're playing man to man. You've got a 15-point lead. Why weren't we in a prevent playing it as a 2 or 3? Why did we have our safeties back? What are we doing playing man to man in that situation? Because we got burned bad. That was the call that pissed me off. But before that, I can't believe, Solomon Tuiapupu, that guy has had a really miraculous comeback. Great miracle story for the guy. Love the guy. Glad he's playing. Had some bad tackles. You had Shane Lee missing some tackles and quite frankly, kind of slow.
Oh, let's not forget
I'm a big fan. He was missing tackles.
Let's not forget number 99, Nick Figueroa. My gosh.
Oh, yeah.
The guy has no bend. He didn't tackle Tejon Spears on that touchdown. He hit him, couldn't shove him out of bounds. Tejon Spears gets away from that and scores a touchdown. I mean, it was just ridiculous. And another play where Nick Figueroa was rushing the quarterback. He's rushing and basically missed a tackle. And then the guy went, 75 yards for a touchdown. And there he is turning around and trying to chase the guy. So, I mean, I love Nick Figueroa, but that is an example of what was left over from the other coaches' coaching regime. And they did the best they can do. But the dude is too slow. Smart guy, 100% effort. But in terms of your D linemen, no, you have to improve. And what you saw on Tulane's side of the ball, great players, athleticism, fantastic motors, never quit. And again, credit Tulane's defense. They kept them in this game. They could have folded, but they did not.
All right, now guys, I know we need to get to the Rose Bowl because we all have to watch the Rose Bowl, and we've said a lot of the key issues that have to be said here. We're going to put a link in the chat for any of our USC contributors. We'd love to hear from you guys just real quick. We want, again, this will be kind of a short show tonight, but we'll put the link in the chat right now for any
really quick
any USC contributors.
Quick, yeah. Boomer 6 and 7, bro. Okay, Boomer 6 and 7. Just remember that one. We lost today, but you guys are 6 and 7. So Boomer, bro.
Yeah, okay, it really is funny, like the mouthy attitude on like Oklahoma fans when they are so bad. I like this from Jay points out the refs had more tackles than USC tonight. Very, very sad and true. Oh, too funny. Yeah. All right. And then hold on. We got guys, we've got Matt Zemek joining us. Matt, we've got a short show, but we're glad to have you. So USC has joined the Big Ten because we are blowing our games in the New Year's Six, and that's the most Big Ten thing we can do.
It's just
that and like billions of dollars of research. That's the Big Ten.
It is just like Jim Harbaugh and, of course, decades before him, Bo Schembechler. Like, you get to a New Year's Day bowl game.
And Ryan Day and Urban Meyer. And I mean, I feel a rich part of the Big Ten history right now.
That's right. I mean, like USC, like an annual rite of passage for USC used to be beating Bo Schembechler and Michigan in the Rose Bowl. You could count on that. Almost always happened. Bo was 2-8 in his 10 Rose Bowls, and John McKay and John Robinson were usually the ones dishing out the L's. So, hey.
And Matt, our friends from UCLA who are joining us also did the same thing.
That's right, 1983. So,
and 2 days ago. So, I mean, it makes us feel whole with the Big Ten. We're joining the club.
That's right. So, obviously, I can imagine what you guys have been saying the past 30 minutes or so. So, I'm not going to try to say anything that I know you guys have already said. I think the main thing, let's get right to the chase. This gives Lincoln Riley an off-ramp. This gives him a chance to go after Jim Leonard or another elite defensive coordinator. Let's just cut to the chase. And now I will say, if you're going to give Alex Grinch 2023, okay, but it would be his prove it season. You absolutely have to do a lot better to retain your job as we go into the Big Ten in 2024. So in many ways, at least this Cotton Bowl achieved that. I think after this Cotton Bowl, there is no way Lincoln Riley can settle for anything close to this next season. But if he really wants to just take it to the next level now, this game could give him legitimate reason to say, we had 4 weeks off, had 4 weeks to prepare. And hey, as Rick was saying, Tulane, quality athletes. Ty J. Spears is a beast. He's awesome. Michael Pratt, fighting through tackles in his own right. I mean, those are really good players. All right. So, credit Tulane. Definitely don't want to rain on the Green Waves parade here because they deserved it. They fought tooth and nail to the very end.
And Matt, we've been trying to temper a little bit of our ripping on USC's collapse with saluting Tulane because and not only that, but Matt, we've actually been on the Tulane bandwagon. The Big 12 fans mocked me mercilessly last year when I said that Tulane should be a Big 12 expansion candidate.
That's right.
And they said, "Oh, you just care about academic." I said, "No, Tulane is a school you'd want to have."
Willie Fritz has been a head coach since '82, right? And today it seemed like he had all of that wiliness from all those years. Put it, 40 years of head coaching, and he put in this thing. We talk about the talent on our defense, but think about the 3 stars that are all scattered all over the field on the other side. So, we can't talk about how bad, we didn't have the guys. Tulane's not exactly dripping with 5 stars. So absolutely hats off to Willie Fritz and his whole staff because they made it happen.
And thank you to NDN Edition, whatever that is. Imagine if Caleb wasn't the QB 7-5. I think a little more than that because Miller's a really good quarterback. And if we didn't have Caleb, we'd probably still have Jackson Dart. So between Miller and Jackson Dart, they're both really good. I think they'd be okay, but I don't think we'd be as successful as we were. Guys, remember, again, this is a season when we said 8 wins was going to be a great season. 9 wins was going to be phenomenal. And look where we are.
Yeah. And so precisely because you have the potential to be so great and precisely because USC did accomplish a lot, let's not lose sight of that. And that's a really good point by Tony. Good reminder that, if you had told USC fans in August that this is where we'd be, losing a New Year's 6 bowl game after an 11-win season, every USC fan signs on the dotted line for that deal. Everyone. Not one would have said, no, I'm going to try and hold out for the perfect playoff season or, Pac-12 championship. I'll take that. Every USC fan was
just like all good Big Ten teams do.
That's right. But because you have the potential to be great and because you have Caleb Williams coming back next year, he's going to be what he did today. He did it all season. He's going to do it throughout 2023, provided that he's healthy, provided nothing happens to him. You're going to have this throughout the whole damn season for USC next year. You don't want to waste it. You don't want to waste what Caleb Williams is going to do for your school for yet another season. You need to, so if Alex Grinch, just thinking about this from Alex Grinch's point of view, if Lincoln Riley fires him today, tomorrow, can you really sit there if you're Alex Grinch and say, this really isn't fair? Lincoln, you're not being loyal to me. I really, knew that I deserved a 2023 season no matter what. Can you really say that if you're Alex Grinch? Because, Alex Grinch And forget about, his credentials or quality as a defensive coordinator. The best thing about Alex Grinch and the people that we talked to at Oklahoma in the offseason leading up to this season, they will tell you, like, he owns his failures. He owns his mistakes. He doesn't run from that. He doesn't throw his players under the bus. So I think if Alex Grinch got fired in the next 24 hours, he wouldn't be able to say reasonably, "Oh, Lincoln, you were supposed to be loyal to me. Come on. Like, I was supposed to get at least 2 seasons on the job." I don't think he'd say that. I don't think he himself, Grinch, would think that in his heart of hearts. Now, would he be disappointed? Of course. And he should be. But, like, he can't really say, I have to have this season, and it would be bitterly unfair of Lincoln Riley if he let me go. Lincoln Riley, he is not hired to be the best man at Alex Grinch's wedding. He's hired to win national championships at USC. He's hired to have a standard of excellence. He's hired to put the best product on the field. And on offense, he has. But, of course, a complete clown car on defense, also special teams. So, if you really do expect the best, if you're trying to do your very best as a program, if Lincoln Riley fires Alex Grinch, I think this Cotton Bowl really did cement the idea that Lincoln Riley would not be unfair. He would not be unduly disloyal to Alex Grinch.
If they did make a change. And
you talked about Jim Leonard. You talked about Jim Leonard a little bit earlier. You talked about Jim Leonard a little earlier. And if he was an option, I'm that's a slam dunk, right? Because he's a proven guy in the Big Ten as a defensive coordinator, but also he has ties to a lot of high schools and a lot of talent in the Big Ten, recruiting wise. And we need those
the number one target.
No, we need linebackers and we need those linemen. I just honestly think, here's what I'm saying. Let's temper our ideas that he's going to get rid of Grinch because
I'm not predicting that. Let's be clear. I am not predicting that.
No, I know, but let me follow up. He, being Lincoln, came flat out and said on 2 occasions that I can remember, when we look back on this year, I love these guys. We came together this year, blah, blah, blah. He's basically saying these are Helton's guys. A lot of these guys. I brought in what I could. He's all, we're going to look back on this as the least talented team we had. He keeps setting that up. And he's obviously clearly, right? Is he talking about offense? He might be talking a little bit on the offensive line, but really he's talking about our defense. And so he's already built in the reason why he's going to keep Grinch. And I'll say this, I'll be the one guy in the panel and the one guy probably the whole chat saying, I am not. I repeat, don't tar and feather me as the Grinch guy. I'm not tied to him. But this wasn't that the guys were out of position. And some clown earlier was talking about the fact that, you got to teach tackling. You guys really don't think they're teaching these kids tackling? Let's just stop there as well. I think there's limitations on our defense. The guys played to their ability, and hats off their Trojans, and I'm proud of them. And we had a great season. But these guys are not the guys that will get us to New York 6 wins, and definitely not going to get us into playoff wins.
No, and as the chat points out, and thanks again, and ND Nate and whatever it is, be real, it's not for the portal 5. I think better than 5 and 7, but certainly not where we are.
And everybody has the portal. If you talk about not having your quarterback and being in the portal and not having the portal, all teams have the portal. All teams losing their quarterback, they're going to lose games. So stop being stupid.
Exactly.
That's just a part of the industry right now.
That is part of the industry. Part of the industry.
It's just stupid comments.
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay.
That's saying if we didn't have the NFL draft, we wouldn't have a quarterback.
Right. I mean, ifs, ands, and buts. You know what that gets you, Matt. Happy New Year.
Player acquisition. This is
happy New Year to Matt, by the way. We haven't seen you since the New Year.
Hey, Matt, Happy New Year. We were talking just before you came on. Appreciate you coming on. You brought up a great point about Grinch, and hey, it could happen, whatever. But Lincoln Riley, he can hit a single if he wants to, instead of hitting a home run and blowing out Alex Grinch. But he has to be held accountable for not having a special teams coach. And it reared its ugly head with Mario Williams. Come on. You're talking about situational awareness, and there was no situation awareness there. And so if he wants to be honest, he needs to hire a special teams coach. I'm sorry, bottom line, because
Rick, I agree with you. I'm on record.
Matt has been on that bandwagon for a while.
Issues. So, hey, I can understand if he keeps Grinch. I get it, but he has to own up that he doesn't have a special teams coach. He needs to have one because he's got to admit it. That helped contribute to this meltdown in the last 4 minutes.
Friend of the show, Erica, from Iowa, which is like, world capital of special teams, says like this is down. We don't have, Erica, sad to believe we legit do not have a special teams coach.
Yeah, and let's
time for that to change.
Let's remember, in the Notre Dame game, Lincoln Riley pooch punted with Caleb Williams twice, and that was a direct admission that, Notre Dame blocked, I believe, 7 punts, maybe 8 this year. That was a direct admission that, I don't trust my normal punt coverage, punt protection unit against an elite special teams unit, with an elite special teams coach. And if you don't have the safety, Tulane certainly doesn't win the game in regulation. Now, I might have sent it to overtime at 45 all, but Tulane certainly doesn't win the game in regulation. And the thing I keep coming back to with special teams, so Rick, I'm right there with you, and I wrote that at Trojans Wire about a month ago, that you have to trade one of these 10 assistant coaching positions. You have to flip one of them and get a special teams coordinator. You can't just wing it. But
really quickly, guys.
The other thing to emphasize, just a second, Tim. The other thing to emphasize is, like at USC, you have elite athletes like Raleek Brown and whoever else is back there to return a kick. You have these speedsters. An elite special teams coach is going to unlock a 95-yard return. Like I look at. I mean, I know it's not college football, but the Green Bay Packers, were 4-8. They put in a new kick returner. 12 games into the season, and he's run back like 3 kicks, 90 or more yards. That's been a huge reason why the Packers are going to get in the playoffs. So it shows that when you get the pieces right on special teams, like if you just get like 3 or 4 touchdowns over a season, that's going to give you like an extra huge leverage play that can beat Notre Dame in South Bend, that can win a game in Salt Lake City against Utah. You can't wing it on special teams. You need to squeeze all the production out of your unit, not just mistake avoidance, all right, but also proactively making elite plays over a full season. That definitely adds up. And, I said specifically that Dante Williams, I think you have to ship him out. And that's not necessarily a negative commentary on him, though it should be said that with the way the secondary played once again today, like, are you really getting maximum value for what Dante Williams is doing as a position coach? I think
and quite honestly,
he does. For all the recruiting Dante Williams does, getting a special teams coordinator in, if that special teams coordinator can recruit, you are definitely adding value if you make that change.
And Matt, can I ask a very Machiavellian question on this real quick? Just
sure.
a real quick. This is my very Machiavellian question. Dante Williams is on the staff because that was the deal for Dante Williams to take over as acting head coach last year. Was he got paid a crap load of money and they kept him around. That was the deal. Mm-hmm. And that was a good deal because we net continuity wise benefited from it. We flushed everybody else out. That deal is over now. I don't feel that like we got a lot of great recruiters.
That's right.
Well, okay, hold on.
Wait, your position well, in addition to providing the recruiting value. And
let me get in here. Hold on, guys.
And
Hang on. He's one of the best recruiters on the West Coast. Let's listen. And we've learned we don't make a guy a coordinator. We don't make him a head coach, but he's a position coach. And I think, didn't we lead
Can we make a recruiting coordinator then?
Excuse me, guys. Didn't we lead the country in interceptions this year? Yes or no? Yes. So I got to be careful. He's an elite recruiter. He doesn't just recruit secondary as well. He recruits everybody. I think he's a great coach. I think we're looking at some weird things also, and I'm really going to get crucified here. Williams caught that ball at the 2-yard line. He signaled fair catch. He played it by the book. He dropped the freaking ball. I thought it was in the end. I thought it was like by the 1-yard line, or whatever. It was out towards the 2 to 3 yard line. He caught that ball. And if you let a ball bounce in play on a kickoff, anything could happen. It was in the corner, so it's kind of questionable. But really, he did it textbook. He signaled for the fair catch, which he did. He went to catch the ball. He took his eyes off it. He dropped it. I went back and watched it just now, just to make sure. So,
no, you're probably right. I just want to also point out, when we're getting advice from the Notre Dame fans who say, and D-Rock Irish is a friend of the show, we love him, he's an awesome guy. But when the Notre Dame fans are like, guys, you need to really think about this. Like that says something right there. We're getting helpful advice from the Notre Dame fans. It's a sad state of affairs.
I'm going to answer Tim on that one. That is what you just explained it perfectly. He called for the fair catch. He took his eyes off. That is technique, Tim. Technique is drilled by a special teams coach that is full-time working with kick returners, punt returners, the field goal kicking team. It is timing. And that is a technique issue, and that is a problem, okay? Shouldn't be happening in the bowl game. Also, I want to say while we're on special teams, Dennis Lynch has regressed. His confidence has gone downhill as a field goal kicker.
He's been bad all along, Rick.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to give the guy some credit, but he's been very inconsistent the last half of the season. That's what I've noticed. And when we went for that, I think it was a 52-yard kick, I was like, no, this is not even his distance, right? And he was 2 yards short.
In a dome.
But there was a special teams gaff right there, and that's a coaching decision. I think that ball was too far for him to kick that. You either punt it, but I can see why we didn't want to punt it because we don't trust our defense. But there's an issue there, and
he hooked
it. It brings up the point that Alex Stadhouse was there, and they elevated Lynch over him. Now, now maybe you could say that Stadhouse didn't earn the job in preseason camp, but what if unless I'm mistaken, like he's still on the roster, right?
Yeah.
So like you could have used him as a long distance kicker, and that is evaluation, and that is definitely part of managing your special teams portfolio. And,
okay, but hold on, Rick, just so
there were distance issues with Lynch. He was short on another kick of similar distance earlier in the season. So that you can't just wing it. And this staff was winging it on special teams.
I think that to your point, though, Mari Williams has been returning kicks all this year. I'm pretty sure he returned kicks over at OU as well. And we definitely know he was returning kicks in high school. The dude's had repetition. So I get you. Listen, I'm not fighting this point. You guys want a special teams coach. I do think special teams is very important. I do get it. But I think we might be overselling this a little bit, the fact that the dude just dropped the damn ball.
I think that the micro point is entirely on target, but I think the larger point is the special teams Lincoln Riley was winging it on special teams. And this is big boy football. This is elite competition. You just can't do this stuff on a wing and a prayer. And special teams, look, we've seen this with Ohio State. We saw in the Peach Bowl against Georgia. It shows up and it matters, and it's going to decide big games. And you need that extra 2%. You need those extra winning plays on special teams. I mean, you start with mistake avoidance, but then you continue through, let's actually create some value-added moments. USC does not have those value-added moments on special teams.
And real quick to Erica, it was a 50-yard kick.
It was a 52-yard field goal.
52-yard kick.
I'd say 25. I could have said 25. I'm all mixed up right now. But
yeah, and as NDNH points out, money can't buy a Pac-12. Well, no, but it certainly bought a whole lot more wins than we had before. Like again, the net win on the net return on investment for USC is phenomenal this year. This season has, and I know like we have all these like idiot Oklahoma trolls with their losing record in the chat, but like the return on investment, like we said 8 wins was a great season, 9 wins was an amazing season, 10 wins was spectacular. Guys, we have more than achieved every goal that we could have hoped for.
And may I say on the matter of money, like if money was the thing, then Texas A&M would be playing in the college football playoff.
Right. Money buys.
Who's not spending money? All right.
Yeah, Texas A&M is not. They haven't played for the national championship since like 1939 or something.
Isn't that the same guy who talked about the transfer portal? If there wasn't a transfer portal, you'd be 5-7. My God, yeah. Money buys you 5-7 at Texas A&M and at Miami. Come on, man.
Hey,
better than that, dude.
Alabama's spending money. USC had a better season than Alabama and Nick Saban did.
You know what? Give us $15 super chat and give us some more of your intelligence because I love it, brother.
We're just teasing. We love you. We're just teasing you.
You've been back 2 times, brother. Come back one more time. Give us $15. Give us your. Hey, it's 4th down.
It's post game. We're laughing.
Come on,
yeah, and guys. Guys, I think we just pointed out we have the man himself has spoken, the voice of college football. Mark says, USC haters, get your digs in now. The trajectory is straight up.
That's exactly what I've been thinking about the whole time. The whole time I've been reading the chat is the fact that
guys, hold on.
It's not going to go down from here. It's probably to go. I mean, the odds of it going down with the defense we have is very slim and none. What's going to happen?
Friend of the show, Traveling Fools.
We are definitely going to be able to turn it around next year, without a doubt.
Friend of the show, Traveling Fools makes a fair point. Leave the Canes out of this. They're done for the year. Sorry, TF. Sorry, we did not mean to disrespect the Canes.